And by the way, the environmental impact from what they did from their project, from what I'm gathering, is worse than like Taylor Swift's private jet for her entire Eras tour. And so that they could all go and fly around. I wonder, honestly, can you imagine what that level of like silicone looked like floating in the stratosphere? It would be like gelatinous. That's a lot of silicone in space, man.
Honestly, I could give two shits. It's of no concern to me. It shouldn't be.
No, but what a waste. But my point is that the public response to it has been has not been pleasant. It's just it's just more of that, like where people are getting to be where they're done with let them eat cake.
Colin, if you have the clip of Gayle King on whatever frickin' morning show she's on, I think she passed by me in the Houston airport recently. Like her basically complaining about how people don't like her and this. Nobody likes you guys.
So you think that putting on, like getting all done up and getting all done up to put on like a skin tight blue suit to go into space for 11 minutes at a waste of so much money and so bad for the environment while people can't afford to live? Yeah, it's not a good look.
It's a great look for them.
Well, I mean,
now all their rich friends are going to be jealous of them.
But see, then when something happens, like somebody's house getting set on fire, then the same people turn around and be like, oh my God, there's no excuse for such behavior. Maybe ridiculous. Not, but I just don't know how far you think you can push people as more and more people have nothing left to lose. Like if
we're definitely in the hog stage now. And what I find even more incredible.
That's true. Sabby used one of our clips. You see what Travers says?
Oh, that's nice. I appreciate Sabby doing that.
Yeah, for sure.
If you can drop a link to it, we would definitely check it out. We'll do a meta thing. We'll do a clip of a clip of a clip of us. That'll be fun. Speaking of a clip of a clip, one of our favorite commentators out there in the, blogosphere, stratosphere, or anything like that. Well, we're not going to jump to it just yet. Actually, we're going to finish up.
But I want to, okay, who is it? Who did a clip of it?
So Gayle King decided to open up her stupid mouth and make this situation even worse. So here's what she had to say regarding people criticizing her and I think Katy Perry about going up into space.
What bothers me, because I've certainly read some of the things online coming from people that I know, that I like, that I consider friends.
Then get a clue.
Friends?
then you should if your friends are saying that, you need some self-awareness. Oh my God.
These are my friends. What you mean, the people that you run into at the cocktail parties that you go to? Those are your friends?
It's so terrible.
They're so, here's the thing. If these people were friends of yours and they didn't like the fact that you went up on a penis rocket, they would tell you that in private. They would say, Gayle, I just want you to know, I really don't think that was a good look, and I don't think it's a really good idea.
Not necessarily. They could still be people that she considered friends, that they're not necessarily really tight, and they didn't, who knows what they said. It might not have been like vicious and mean. It might have just been, maybe not a good look. That's what I'm saying. You're presuming they were saying horrible things. Maybe people that are her friends were simply saying, this is not, because I would. Friends got it, friends don't let friends be oblivious assholes,
No, but this one was just really, really ridiculous. And I would like to say that I'm surprised that people can be this obtuse and this egotistical, but it's not. No. And that, like I said, right off the bat, she's like, my friends. Well, that's a reflection of the type of friends that these people keep.
And this is what I would say to that. Space is not an either or, it's a both and. And because you do something in space doesn't mean you're taking anything away from Earth. And what you're doing in space is trying to make things better here on Earth. What Blue Origin wants to do is take the waste here and figure out a way to put it in space to make our planet cleaner.
And to screw up other planets and other places. Honestly, Oh my
you
God.
know?
Yes. Yes. Let's ship our garbage into outer space.
I mean,
That sounds like a really good use of our reason. It's like it's getting worse and worse by the second.
no, this is almost like who would you compare this to that's like talking right now?
I
That that could only sound like such an arrogant douche canoe.
I
It's
I don't.
I'm like trying to put my finger on like who I would think of. Like, yeah, that's something
It's
that's
just ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. I like she is so ridiculous. And not saying and she's right that it's not an either or, as you know, that we know that tax dollars don't fund spending. And we know that just because somebody wants to fly to space doesn't mean that we can't have healthcare. We know that, Gayle. We know that. Do you know that? Like, do you know
We're
that?
making the
And do
environment.
you think, like, when was the last time you were standing up for people to have single payer healthcare? I don't know.
Does she not understand that when you blow trash, if you will, into the atmosphere, above the atmosphere and into space, does she not understand how fast that shit travels and where it could ultimately end up?
All I
Does she not
know is if
understand?
you want to send shit and garbage to space, take Bezos and all of his silicone friends and send them up there. That's really
And
sending
don't
our
come
trash
back.
into space. Yeah, exactly. Like, and
Yeah.
don't look up with
Hey,
that.
Elon, you want a good idea? The next time that Bezos tries to blast off one of his rockets, just make sure it gets directed directly to Mars. And if they don't
Or,
survive the trip, that's their problem. Not
or
ours.
Elon, can we interest you in potentially trying to go down and visit the Titanic? I heard it's really good viewing down there.
Well, I'd probably do it a little differently than what
Well, I'd love to see him try.
Jeff Bezos has so many ideas, and the people that are working there are really devoted and dedicated to making our planet a better place. That's number one. Number two, have you been? Have you been? If you've been and you still feel that way after you come back, please let's have a conversation. Number three,
Fuck
please
you,
don't
you
call it a
elitist hag. Fuck you. Have you been? No, Gayle. Most people haven't been. They haven't been. So no, they haven't had that experience. This is one of those ridiculous
this is
things, like the guy Murray who was saying you can't comment on Gaza unless you've been to Gaza. No, that's not how it works. I have never flown business class abroad, but I know I would like it. I know I would like it. I can comment on that. I feel really confident in that. I've never done it. That was the most disgusting thing to possibly say. I just did this most elitist thing that only like a dozen people in the world get to do. So unless you've done that, get the fuck out of here.
She talks like a typical woman who lives on Park Avenue on the Upper East Side of New York City.
Oh my
That's what
God.
she sounds like. She sounds like a person who clearly has been affected by her wealth and success for the past, I don't know, how long has Gayle been around? Like 10, 12 years, I suppose, in terms of being at that level?
Well, she's always been Oprah's BFF. So she's
that I didn't know.
That's where she comes from. She's Oprah's best friend. They've done so many. Oh yeah. You didn't know that's where Gayle King comes. That's the whole point.
Well, that explains a lot.
She's Oprah's best friend, and they've been friends for like forever. They have. And so she used to have her on the show. Like, oh yeah. I can't believe you didn't know that. Guys,
we can see how good judge of character Oprah is in general.
Well, the two of them for years have had to be like denying rumors that they're actually a couple, which to me, of course, I could not care less about that either way. But that's irrelevant. That's people being mean and spiteful about stuff. That's not the kind of shit. You don't go after people for that. You go after them for this elitist shit.
Right. That is not a friggin' ride. Whenever a man goes up, you have never said to an astronaut, boy, what a ride. You know, we duplicated the same trajectory that Alan Shepard did back in the day, pretty much.
Oh, yes.
No one called that a ride. It was called a flight. It was called a journey, because a ride implies that it's something frivolous or something that's lighthearted. There was nothing frivolous about what we did.
Oh.
First of all, the fact that she brought sexism into the conversation.
Unreal.
What level of desperation can you possibly be at? And on top of everything else, she really believes in her mind that this was something incredibly important that she did. She was sucking off Bezos the entire time. So it's not entirely surprising. I mean,
this is so repulsive to me. And to say that there was like a really broad mission, the sexism thing is absolutely ridiculous. And I would be happy to go back and pull up a clip that we've done. We probably have a few clips where we had commented on the lunacy of Bezos flying his penis into space. So I made the same clip about that ridiculous elitist ride endeavor then, and I will make it now about you.
I mean, the thing about this
Oh my
particular
God.
clip is that and we still have a little bit to go. It just gets worse.
I know.
It's not
Like,
it
this
started
is-
bad. This is like, we're not even at the top of the mountain yet. I don't know when we're supposed to come down, but at this point, she's just like, nope, let me keep going. All
She's
right, see you.
Icarus. Fly,
Yeah.
fly, lady, fly.
And the machine that we were on, and what it took for the people to get that machine up and running, to get us up and get us back down safely. So, I'm very disappointed and very saddened by it. And I also say this, what it's doing to inspire other women and young girls, please don't ignore that. I've had so many women and young girls reach out to me, and men too, by the way, that say,
Bullshit.
wow, I never thought I could do that, but I see you doing it at this stage of my life. Who would have thunk it? Not
Bullshit. Some neo-lib woman in the suburbs maybe sent you something like, you go girl, or whatever it is, and you feel like you're that kind of an inspiration. No. And this is the last thing yet one more time, I am thankful that I don't have daughters, because it's so uninspired.
Correct. Just the language that she uses, the elitist.
Yeah, it was a ride.
Language. And on top of everything else, when you start talking about how you've inspired women and young girls and stuff like that, does anybody realize how expensive it is to take this flight? The space flight, I believe, at a minimum, is $500,000. I mean, you have to, and here's another thing, ladies and gentlemen, that you may not know. I would bet my bottom dollar that Gayle did not pay for this ride.
Of course not. This was a publicity stunt by Bezos. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if we paid for this ride.
Sure. Gets all his wonderful
How much
subsidies.
of what he does is subsidized? Exactly.
All right. Well, I think there's just a tad bit left. Let's see if she can end with a nice finale.
me, and how inspired they are.
No one's inspired by you.
Nobody's inspired by you. And quite honestly, anybody that found that inspired is too far gone for us to even be happy about that. Sorry, that's
How
absurd.
about inspiration like that, Gayle? That's real inspiration.
Yeah.
Like the fact that we're the only developed nation on earth that doesn't have health care, that we are effectively running a genocide through Israel onto the Palestinian people. That would be something worth commenting on, but that's not anything you'd ever comment on.
No.
And that's
No.
the real tragedy of it all.
What
And
a just
more-
waste. It's such a, it's so obscene that it's,
Yeah. And the more that these clips come out, the more that we see this total lack of self-awareness from the highest of highs in our society. Gayle King may not be the richest person. She's certainly not. But does she run in the circles of the richest people?
oh yeah,
She does.
for sure. Otherwise
And-
she wouldn't have been there.
Yeah. But when I'm around multimillionaires for the past 3 days, and several of them are waving, like the distress flags, because they're concerned about people's ability to stay at their hotels, it's real. But people like Gayle, she don't give a shit. It doesn't enter her mind.
No.
And they do
Well,
feel
I
this
don't
way.
see that. Does anybody understand the link with Katy Perry? And then there was someone else in there that I think actually was like a science student person that actually was a legitimate normal person. I don't know how.
But again, if scrapping all of the bullshit aside,
Yeah.
like, if you're really going to send people into space, even if it's for a quick trip, those are the types of people that need to be going there, not people like Gayle King. Who in the fuck is she?
It was very important. It was a very important mission with the machine.